stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Cindy, you want to talk to us?
Yes, okay. All right. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. A couple of issues with the one case we have on the agenda. Last time, we had 5 members that heard the case, and as you remember, we continued it. However, we're down 2 of those members. So because Mr. Bowman wasn't there for the last hearing, he wouldn't be able to hear this case if it's a continuance. So we technically don't have a quorum. And also, I believe the applicant had contacted the planning staff. He contacted Mr. Carpenter and said he wasn't going to be here tonight as well. I think since we don't have a quorum, we need to continue it anyway, just for that reason.
Okay. Anna, I happened to be here earlier today, and you'd received a packet from the alleged violator. What was in that packet?
Yes, I received an email as well as a certified letter, and both of them the same content. It's just a letter stating that he is cooperating with the requests from Matt Carpenter and the requirements in the planning department for his development order. He sent me copies of a sign application that's been filled out and a certificate of land use application that is filled out. Both are dated April of this year, but there's no evidence that they were actually submitted to the planning department.
Okay.
In what he gave you, or?
I don't process them. So it doesn't matter if he turns them in to me. They still have to be processed through planning, and there's a fee for them. So
Okay.
I can't do anything with them.
And he just sent proof, or he just sent the application, right? He didn't,
He sent you a copy
of the actual application.
I can submit this to Renee.
Do we deal with it, or do we just continue it until next time?
You guys consider it for purposes of the continuance if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would point out that the application that he gave to Anna is dated before the last code board meeting that we had in May.
And he made no mention, it seems to me.
No, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, he presented at least a portion of that as his evidence at the last meeting.
He did
He
present
did,
it?
and we'd never seen it, and we still haven't seen it, and short of the email.
But at the last meeting, he incorrectly, it would seem, told us that he had submitted it. Okay.
And I checked today, about 2 hours ago, with the planning department. There is no, because when it's turned into the planning department, they put it in the system. There
Right.
is no record of it ever being submitted.
Okay. Well, it's too bad that one more member couldn't make it tonight, because we could certainly
Yeah,
render a decision.
yeah.
But we can't, so I guess we have no choice but to, we don't have to vote on it, do we?
What you can consider tonight is to continue again the case because we're lacking in a quorum.
And Victor can vote now.
He can vote to do that, he just, because it's just a continuance.
Okay.
So we're good on that, but she's prepared a final report, which I doubt that will change. And,
Well, he may submit everything
Yeah, he may.
by that time.
and,
But, I mean, it's past the deadline that I put on him. But, that would be up to the
And
board.
And just so you know, I had given to Jennifer and Anna and Sydney information that he was having an event last weekend at the premises, so he has not ceased and desist from having paid functions there.
And did he explain why he couldn't be here tonight?
I
Yes, sir.
didn't get the message.
If I could, Matt Carpenter for the planning department. I have an email from him this afternoon that purports to explain that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we did have the pre-application that I asked y'all to continue this item to allow us to have that meeting to get started with the remedy on getting a development order application. We did have that meeting. Jamie Eubanks from Jenkins Engineering attended that meeting, and we actually had the pre-application meeting for this project.
When was that?
That was, I want to say, May 31st. It was the following week after. I did meet with him on Monday at the site, and we covered a number of things, including how he can find an engineer to help him without specifically pointing him to any particular consultant. I did get a tour of the facility, and I did continue to explain what the requirements were and what he needed to do to comply with the code violation. He seemed to be in agreement. He did go out and engage an engineer to attend the pre-application conference. He was supposed to attend also, according to the engineer, but he did not attend. And the fee that's normally paid at that pre-application meeting, which is a nominal fee for that meeting, was not paid at that time. I agreed to postpone the collection of that fee to the point where we collect the development order application fee, which we can do. However, within the next day or so, we received the June 1st email. Or I received it after a phone call from Scott Jenkins to Bob Barante, who was the assigned planner for this proposed project, indicating that Mr. Lyles had decided not to move forward with obtaining a development order. And then we get today's email, which suggests something to the contrary. I'm somewhat at a loss, and I'm almost wanting to apologize for asking you to continue this item from the last meeting. But I did offer to work with him in good faith, as we will offer to work with anyone, because we want to remedy the code violations as quickly as possible. We're still willing to work with them, but I'm not sure he's willing. So I've got conflicting information. He's chosen not to attend tonight. We certainly view this as a very serious case, given that this event venue is being advertised on not less than 10 different websites, including the TDC website as a wedding venue, which I will fix tomorrow. It will come down from the TDC website. He asked me on that Monday that I met him at the site, do I need to take my sign down? I said, don't take the sign down if you'll just cover it up so it's not advertising anything. While we're going through this process, we won't make you take the sign down. I noticed today there is a small 8.5 by 11 sign that covers up the website portion of that sign. You've probably seen this sign if you've driven down J.D. Miller. Big sign. We got a small sign down here that says coming soon. That was only added within the last day or so, possibly today. But if you were not slowing down to turn in there, you wouldn't see that coming soon sign.
Right.
So it has not been covered. He was going to cover the entire thing with a canvas, so you couldn't read anything on the sign. And I took him at his word that that was what he was going to do. And probably as late as today, because I think Bill Williams, our code enforcement manager, had taken some pictures of the sign in the intervening period. I don't think that little sign went up before yesterday at the latest, or at the earliest. Possibly today.
But there's nothing we can do, right? At this point, there's nothing we can do.
We can't vote on anything tonight, but we, this information is being given to you so that you can make a decision as to whether or not to continue the case. If you fail to continue it, then they will have to start all over with the process.
But it seems hypocritical to tell him he didn't show up when we didn't show up.
I don't know that we really have much choice other than to continue it, because if we had to start completely over on the case, we'd have to renotice, and there'd be some additional delay with that.
And he would have to resubmit all of his evidence again, and it's an extremely long process, so.
Yeah, we don't have to do that again.
No, I don't need to do that twice. Well, then, what choice do we have but to?
I don't know that we have any choice other than to continue and hear this at the next meeting, but I did want to inform you as to the circumstances that have occurred since the last meeting, because I asked y'all to continue this to give us an opportunity to work with that particular applicant.
I need to move to continue.
All right, any discussion? If not, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So he gets a continuance until the next, that is to say, this is now June and July, whatever meeting.
Now, if he does not do something by the next meeting, do we have anything we can do to?
What we will
Or you can
do,
do?
if he agrees to move forward with the remedy, which is applying for a development order for what he has built out there, we will work with him and process that as expeditiously as possible as a remedy to this board's violation.
It's up to him now, right?
It's up to him. It's up to him, right? There's nothing we can do for him beyond what we've already offered to do.
Right. Well, we just have to make sure that we have a quorum the next time. So we can,
Other than I will take it off the TDC website tomorrow.
Speaking of quorums, what do we do if this is gonna be, we need more people?
You have 2 open vacancies that would be filled by the county commissioners.
It's not up to us to fill those vacancies,
No,
but
it's
they
up to
need to
county
be filled. Do we say to you, Matt?
I will accentuate the urgency of filling the vacant positions on the code board.
Let them know that this case had to be continued because of the fact that no one's been appointed.
I will do that first thing in the morning.
The only other business that you have is the minutes.
Yeah,
from
we need
last
to
meeting.
approve the rest.
Well, you don't have a form for that because he wasn't present, so you can't vote on those items. So if-
I'm glad I drove down here.
Yeah, I'm glad you took the trip.
For the record, I would suggest doing a motion to
Continue the approval of the minutes?
It ain't before
Let's do it, make your trip worthwhile.
It ain't but 47 miles from my house, that's all right.
Jack, would you second that motion?
I'll second that motion.
You can't vote on it, Victor, but I will, and I suspect we'll all vote aye.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of the county, even though we don't have a quorum and we can't take official action, I want to thank you individually for making the trip and for spending your time to come.
Do mention that there were 4 here.
Yeah, that Victor,
We
Right,
had
yeah.
a quorum, we just didn't have a quorum that could vote.
but
Because he wasn't here to hear the first
Yeah.
part of the case.
we don't care, you didn't have the first place. Yeah.
Well, we did have 5. He showed up.
Yeah, yeah, you had a quorum last time, but,
He was here, but he couldn't.
yeah.
Oh, John,
John,
Yeah, he couldn't.
Because he's on the planning board.
yeah.
Might have-
What's the date of next month's meeting?
Uh-oh.
Don't say
I may
it.
not be here.
Don't say it.
I might be here, I'm not sure. We're going
You
on
leaving
vacation.
town?
Huh?
You leaving town?
Well, I think it's the 20th though, I'm leaving, 22nd or something like that.
Yeah, the 20th is the next meeting.
July 20.
Well, that's it, right? There's nothing else.
Yeah, I think we're leaving on the 22nd, maybe.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Your agenda calls for announcements. Do you have any, are there any announcements to be made?
No? You, Mac?
No, sir.
Code officers, anything to tell us? Okay. I've got the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
Or you
We
got-
are adjourned.
Yeah, okay.
Now I can read it.
You can have